Welcome back, everyone. It is Friday, February 7th, and the NBA 3 picks on the way. If you are new, my name is Austin. As always, in these videos, we begin with a recap, then we dive into the 3 picks. At the end of the video, I'll talk about one more player prop that I really do like, as well as maybe we'll look at some spreads or some other games that we did not touch on. But as always, like I said, we begin with a recap of yesterday. It was a 1-2 day. Yesterday we went 2-2, or 2 days ago we went 2-2. Yesterday, a 1-2 day. We did have Jamal Murray's over in points. He did not play, so that one voided. Our winner, Tyrese Halliburton, under in assists. So he kind of cashed. We got a little bit lucky there, ended with 8 on the dot. Brandon Pochemski ends on the hook. So I'll consider both of those. Well, that's a balancing. I mean, how does Pochemski miss 4 of his 6 free throws? I don't know, but that's how he lost there. But Halliburton probably should have went over. So I'll take a wash there. Rob Dillingham, not the best read over here. Did end up with 6 points, no assists. He had no points and assists in his first 7 minutes. So not much you're going to do there for a guy that's not going to play a ton of minutes to not get anything on the board first few minutes. But either way, not our best reads yesterday. Hopefully today we can bounce back with a 3-0 day. Certainly know we were capable of that. Later on today, my Super Bowl best bets video will post, so you can definitely tap into that. We'll have a couple plays for the Super Bowl parlays and stuff like that. So make sure you check that out. Tomorrow, obviously, a big NBA slate. Sunday, there's not a lot of NBA games. Good chance I just take Sunday off from the NBA, but we'll talk about that probably tomorrow. Let's dive in the picks today. We'll begin with the first one. The guy in the thumbnail, a guy that finally returned back from injury. The process, Joel Embiid. I love his over 31.5 points plus assists today at minus 125 on Bet365. A lot of books are at 32.5. I'm cool there. If it does happen to go up to 33.5, I'd probably just pivot to his over in points. I'd much prefer that than trying to get a couple more assists in there. Although we know Joel Embiid is capable of double-digit assist games because he just had one. But I don't necessarily think he's going to get 10 assists tonight. But I do like tacking on that because Joel Embiid, we saw last year, what he averaged? Nearly 5 assists per game. So the 28.5 points compared to, 31.5 points plus assists, 32.5 points plus assists, I do like it here. Now, tonight, the Sixers are on the road to Detroit to face the Pistons. And you should see finally Maxey, George, and Embiid all in the lineup. I'm not too concerned about that. They're going to run their offense through Joel Embiid, and he obviously has been a beast when he's been on the floor. And he obviously, if you look at his numbers so far this season, not the best. Really got off to a slow start, but really since that slow start, we're looking at his last 12 games. 11 games over in 7 of 11. And really, when he's been playing actual minutes, a couple of these games he gets injured in. Pacers plays 17 minutes. Spurs, he plays 14. So we're looking at games in which, he's playing 25 or more minutes. He's been pretty consistent hitting this line over. Oops, let's get rid of those first 2 games when he was really out of shape. But again, over in 7 of 9 games, 2 misses with 29 here, 30 here. This is the game they lose by 34. Last game against the Mavericks, he returned. He was supposed to be on a minutes limit. No, he played 39 minutes at 14 potential assists, 23 field goal attempts, 9 free throw attempts, missed 5 of them. Obviously, we expect Joel Embiid to not miss over 50% of his free throws. You look at the matchup, though. We look at how Joel Embiid scores. He's doing a lot of damage in a lot of different areas. But again, number 2 top methods on free throws. We know that. As the pick and roll man, been pretty good. Both very good matchups against the Pistons. You look at where the Pistons struggle. They're really good at the rim, but again, anywhere else, they're pretty bad. And this is kind of Joel Embiid's bread and butter. It's getting to that mid-range. And we've seen him absolutely destroy this matchup head-to-head wise. We look at him last year against them. 36, 46, 37, 45 points and assists. You might be like, Austin was playing a lot more minutes. Well, 36 minutes here, 31, 29 minutes here. Again, just cooking this matchup. Jalen Duren, I'm going to be honest, can't really guard him. So I look at this as a great spot for Joel Embiid to just keep things going. Played 36 minutes on their last game. There was no PG. I don't see him playing, 40 minutes tonight. And heck, he might not play 36, but I don't think we need 36. I think if he plays 31 to 32 minutes, I think this is a tight game. I really like Joel Embiid tonight. Give me his over 31.5 points plus assists. We're trusting the process tonight. I think he easily comes through for us. So that should be a tight game. I love Pistons games because normally they're pretty close, knock on wood. And if it's a close game, obviously Joel Embiid going to get more and more minutes in there. Next game, we're going to an under. This one was plus money. If it's not plus money when you're watching this, it shouldn't be too far off of that. It's going to be an under. It's on Tyler Herro. I like his under 3.5 made 3-pointers, plus 105 on Caesars. I'd play this to about minus 115. If it gets more juice than that, probably wouldn't play it, but I think at plus money, I'm happily going to take a stab at it. But obviously, you could take it to wherever you want. I just think minus 115 is probably as far as juice as I would go, maybe minus 120. But that's about it. A 1-unit play as him and the Heat are on the road to take on the Brooklyn Nets. Now, obviously, the Heat made a big trade, shipping out Jimmy Butler. getting in Andrew Wiggins. Technically, Dennis Schroeder was part of that deal, but he's been now relocated to like 9 different teams and finally ending with Detroit. And then we should see Kyle Anderson on this team as well. Now, I have no idea if Wiggins plays tonight. All the guys traded yesterday probably don't play today with their teams, but he was traded earlier in the week. So maybe we see Wiggins suited up tonight. And honestly, if he does, I don't think that hurts our bet here at all. In fact, it probably helps it. But I really like Herro's under as they face the Nets. Now, the Nets are coming off a game against the Wizards where they did not try defensively. And while sure, the Nets are not going to make the playoffs, but I expect them to be a little bit more locked in defensively here. They've been a tough matchup that Heroes kind of struggled with. Now, obviously, you could take us under in points. I'd rather not do that. I'd rather just look at him under in threes because some guys can go over in points, but under in threes, it's happened plenty of times. I don't love this matchup for Tyler Herro, and he's kind of struggled in it so far this season. Now, in his 2 head-to-head games versus them, 2 threes here. Jimmy Butler was inactive, so was Terry Rozier, only shot 7 3-pointers. And then this game shoots 3 for 6, so not a lot of field goal attempts. And you saw Jimmy Butler inactive in that one. Again, 2 lower volume games for him. Why is that? Well, because the Nets rank first defensively versus the pick and roll ball handler. They're not a great defense, but very good there. They give up a lot of spot up opportunities, which should yield more opportunities for his teammates, as Herro's kind of the facilitator for this team. And again, in terms of above the break threes, they rank 6th there, and that's where Herro scores nearly 50% of his points. So they're pretty good above the break defense, which is why Herro has not attempted a ton of volume, and they've won both these games by 15 and 9 points. Now, obviously, if you look at Herro on the season, over in 15 of his last 30, he is capable. He made 5 threes in his most recent game. A lot of games in here where he has gotten the job done. But what we've seen when he's versed teams that are pretty good in the above the break defense, under in a little bit over half of those. But I more so want to look at what happens when he doesn't attempt a ton of threes, because how they're doing it, they're giving up very few pull-up opportunities. In fact, if you pull up, I go to this so often, but pull up 3-pointers. Oh, the computer just really didn't like that, but we're going to keep things moving. Pull up threes. We see the Nets dead last. They give up the fewest pull up threes. If you go to the last 10 games, it's very similar. So I just don't see him getting a ton of opportunities. And we're looking at Herro when he shoots 11 or fewer threes, he's under in 19 of 30. When he shoots 11 or fewer threes and faces a defense that's within the top 15 of above the break defenses, under in 13 of 19, almost 70%. So again, I just don't see this as a great matchup for him. If he shoots more than 11 threes, it's a bad read on my end, but I just don't see him getting that many. Heck, I think he's probably closer to like 9. And obviously, if it's like 9 or fewer, even if you took away the best defenses, still under in a lot of those. Shoots 8 or fewer, under in most of them. So again, he hasn't shot more than 7 against them. Obviously, maybe he shoots more than that tonight. But again, if he's shooting 10 or fewer, I'll take my chances here. I think it's a terrible spot for Tyler Herro. So I like his under in 3-pointers made. My second play of the day at plus money. Love it. Minus 115, minus 120, about as big as I would go there. If it gets juiced throughout the day because Wiggins gets ruled in, I probably would just maybe I don't want to really lay juice on something like that, but certainly can. I really do like the play, and I think it will be a winner at the end of the day. And my third and final play of the day, we only have 3 picks. Tomorrow we'll have a bigger card because it is a full Saturday. We have like 12 something games like that tomorrow. It's going to be a guy that I think will benefit from some guys being traded off of his team, and that will be a guy on the Atlanta Hawks. A guy that we've taken only one prop for this season was his under. It was sweat free. Say it's his over. And that would be Vit Krejci. You might not know this guy. I like his over 10.5 points plus assists. It's minus 105 on Bet365, a 1-unit play. If you don't have a PA line, points and assists, I would either look at his PRA if that is available, or just take his over in points. His points line is 8.5, I believe. I like the points. Obviously, I think there's a value in the assists because Vit Krejci is not a terrible playmaker, and we obviously know the Hawks made some moves at the deadline. They obviously kept Trae Young. We'll see what happens with him in the offseason, but who do we ship off? DeAndre Hunter, who has been a big part of this lineup all season long. And we shipped off Bogdanovic, who's been inactive the last few games. But the biggest thing, in my opinion, was DeAndre Hunter, because we think about the offense of this Hawks team. They don't really have a lot of scoring. And so with Jalen Johnson out for the season, DeAndre Hunter was their second best scorer out there for him. He's gone now, and he's also a wing. Vit Krejci should kind of assume some of the minutes that DeAndre Hunter had. Sure, will he assume the 30 minutes that he was playing? Probably not. But I think there's upside for Vit Krejci to get in there, be aggressive, and knock down some shots, especially when you think about the Hawks. They brought in a ton of guys. George Niang, Karis LeVert. Who else did they bring in? They brought in like 4 guys. Terrence Mann, Bones Highland. They brought in 4 fellas. that could take Krejci's minutes. So again, I don't expect any of those guys to play today, given they were just traded yesterday. They're probably got to pass physicals today. Hawks probably won't trot them out tonight. Instead, we'll see Vit Krejci have a game or two where he's got to show up and, hey, say, coach, please play me a little bit more. Obviously, he knows the system in here. Now, you look at Vit Krejci and his matchup here. It's going to be against the Milwaukee Bucks. They're short dogs, 6.5-point dogs, not too crazy. I think it's a great matchup for Vit Krejci, and I really do think he can take off. DraftKings, it looks like, just posted a line here for Vit Krejci. But you look at him, and I'll put the picks scrolling down at the bottom of the screen. Vit Krejci, obviously, on the season, 13 to 30 games. Not great. But again, as I talked about, the Hawks depth chart, let's go pull up the most recent game for the Hawks. You'll see, we'll bring up their schedule. And Trae Young's probable today, so I expect him to play. But like I said, this game against San Antonio, what happened here? We saw Onyeka Okongwu, those guys all played their minutes. DeAndre Hunter, 39 minutes. And even if you remove all of those, who else is going to fill in for the minutes? And you saw Vit Krejci all the way down here playing 19 minutes. So let's assume he at least gets a couple of those minutes. Not like he played super well, 2 for 4. So in my opinion, we're going to see Vit Krejci be locked into 20 minutes. So pretty solid. Now, let's say he plays 20 to 30 minutes, over in 10 of 17 games. Pretty solid in there, 10 of 17. He's getting some opportunities here. This game against the Pistons, played 28 minutes, shot, whatever, 5 of 9. Great game for him. Here, 2 for 3, not the greatest volume game. Again, a lot of these games, DeAndre Hunter is active in. Some of these games, Jalen Johnson's inactive. I mean, you look at games where he gets 20 to 30 minutes without Jalen Johnson, we're looking at a guy over in 6 of 8 games. Now, if he plays more than 30, then I think it's a great read. We're in the clear. We're probably going to cash this bet. But realistically, it's like 20 to 30 minutes, probably what he gets. No Jalen Johnson. He's been pretty aggressive. Here, 12 shots, 8 shots, 6, 8, 10. Again, 9 shots. So this is a good matchup for him as well against the Bucks. You look at his top 3 scoring methods: spot up, transition, and he is a decent guy in the pick and roll as a ball handler. All 3 great matchups here. We know the Bucks have really struggled defensively recently, especially on above the break threes, to where he can get some opportunities here. Ultimately, I just think it's a pretty good buy low spot, assuming that all those guys that they just traded for don't play. And if he gets 5 shots, looking at a guy over in 14 of 20 games when that's the case. So again, come off the bench here. He is a guy that can fill it up, can shoot the 3 ball. If the shots are falling, we could easily cash this in his first, run of minutes if the shots are falling. But again, I think there's some opportunities here for the assists. Trae Young can't play every single minute like he did here. He played 43 minutes. They don't probably want to do that too consistently, especially given they basically traded away their team, saying, hey, we don't think we're making the playoffs this year. So again, we should see more opportunities for other guys. Let's develop Vit Krejci, see what he can do off the bench. Maybe he even starts tonight. I don't think he starts, but he certainly could. I expect probably Dominic Barlow or someone like that to start, but he could start and wouldn't really shock anyone. So again, I think it's a good spot. I didn't even mention them. Obviously, we talked about the matchup versus the Bucks, but we think about the other guys on the lineup. Jason Daniels, he's going to have to guard Damian Lillard, and who knows who's going to guard Giannis Antetokounmpo. It's probably not Vit Krejci. It's probably a slew of guys on Yeka, Zachary Richardson, or one of those guys. And so again, they could get into foul trouble. So again, we could see more guys off the bench, or a guy like Vit Krejci see a little bit more playing time with those foul trouble to other guys. So again, I really think it's a good pick. I know it's a weird one. We're betting on Vit Krejci, but I think it's a pretty solid play. So I'll take that. My 3 plays of the day to recap them right here. Embiid's over in points plus assists. Vit Krejci's over in points plus assists, and our second play, Tyler Herro under in 3-pointers made. Finally, we'll recap and we'll talk about a couple other things I did look at. I will be honest, I had one more play that I was going to take, but I ended up not doing it because I got a little bit spooked, and that would be this one. That would be Mr. Kelly Oubre Jr. under in points. Obviously, could overlap with Joel Embiid, points and assists. I don't like the spot for Kelly Oubre, but I just know the moment I take his under, he's going to go 5 of 6 from the field, and it'll piss me off. So that is a pick that has my full sign of approval. If you need another pick, I do like that one. In terms of other games, Cade Cunningham, I actually don't love this spot for him. We love Cade, but again, where he does a lot of his damage is in this restricted area paint non-restricted area, where the Sixers are pretty good. I'm pretty good at limiting pull-up jump shots. Another reason I like Kelly Oubre Jr.'s under. He probably has to guard Cade, so not a great spot for him. Other games, though, Cleveland and Washington, this is a 17-point spread. Count me out. Another double-digit spread here. I like LaMelo Ball 3-pointers, but I have no idea how many minutes he plays, so I'm going to avoid it. Not really love any Spurs. Kind of want to see a few more games with De'Aaron Fox. In terms of other games, Toronto, OKC, we see the return of Chet Holmgren. It's a very low points line. I consider Jalen Williams under, but I don't really want to get involved in this. This is a nearly 20-point spread. In the final game, Utah versus Phoenix. Kevin Durant currently questionable, so that kind of impacts how I feel about a lot of different things. I do like Devin Booker over an assist, which is about minus 120. So that's another pick I did look at. If I needed two more picks, it would be D-Bucks over in points plus assists, or not points plus assists, D-Book over an assist. And probably I'd look at Cade Cunningham under in points or Kelly Oubre Jr. under in points. Those are two more picks I did heavily look at. But again, I don't want to force a ton of action onto this. At day after trade deadline, you never really know what goes down. I like our three picks we got: Embiid, Vit Krejci, and Tyler Herro's under. And I think we can go at least 2-1, hopefully 3-0. Bring out the Bruins, and tomorrow we have a full slate of action. But as I said, Super Bowl video: Eagles, Chiefs, dropping later on today. I'll link it right on the screen once it is live. It should be live sometime mid-afternoon, maybe early afternoon, 12 to 2 p.m. It should be live somewhere in there. Also, probably have another Super Bowl video posted on Sunday morning. Probably a long shot parlay that Logan and I come together, cook up something, put like 0.1 unit on it to win back 1, 2, 3 units. We'll figure that out. Either way, have a wonderful Friday. Enjoy your day. Go kill it. Go kill the Bucks. And I'll see you guys back on Saturday morning, bright and early, hopefully with the brooms out. I'll see you guys then. Peace.